So, really and truly, being a Jamaican, as he said, born in a Jamaica, it don't really make you a Jamaican because, you see, to be a Jamaican, you have to register to the RGB, It's a part of the Constitution. Cause just like how the Maroon are indigenous people, we are native people of the land, but we are not Jamaican if you can register to the British registry. So that is the difference between born in Jamaica.
Hold on. If you're born in a Jamaica, you don't register where you is.
If you're born in a Jamaica, right, the land itself is not Jamaica.
No. What the land is?
The land is actually Jamaica, but the British.
No, we don't call it. Yeah, but we know what the British call it, and we know what them call it long time. I just ask you.
Today, Jamaica won. Jamaica won this election. Yes. The majority of voters decided to choose Jamaica. Make no mistake about it. This was not victory by default. Make no mistake about it. This was not an easy victory. Make no mistake about it. This was a fight. But we did not descend my political organization. We did not descend to the gutter to fight. We did not seek to trick the people to win. We did not seek to tear down anyone to lift up ourselves. We did not seek to tear down Jamaica in order to be able to administer the affairs of Jamaicans. We ran a clean, disciplined, focused, well-organized campaign. And we proved that we can run a decent campaign and win. And that is how Jamaica has won.
They not like us. They not like us. They not like us.
That is how Jamaica wins. Our democracy by this election is proven to be intact. There are those who are trying to seed a view that the mere fact of a third term is a threat to democracy. There are those who are trying to carry the idea that regardless of how well a government performs and merits to be re-elected, it shouldn't happen because somehow that is a threat to democracy. Well, today has dispelled that because we went through the toughest battle in any democratic society in the region to stand here and say we will be the government for the third term.
Comrade Chairman, Comrade General Secretary, Comrade Officers, all of the comrades on the platform, all the comrades in the audience, all the people of Jamaica who are listening, watching. First of all, I think it's my duty as a believer in democracy to acknowledge and concede the result and to congratulate our opponents, the Jamaica Labor Party, for their victory tonight. Jamaica's democracy is important and we must cherish it. Sometimes it brings bitter disappointments. Sometimes those disappointments are laced with a tinge of a sense that not all is fair and just, but it is very, very important that we put democracy ahead of all of those feelings. And I accept the result of these elections. And although obviously I'm very disappointed in the outcome, I think it is only correct to expressly acknowledge the success that our opponents have managed to gain today. I want to thank a lot of people. And first of all, I have to thank the comrades and supporters of South St. Andrew for standing with me, for coming out today in their numbers, and for giving us a decisive victory in the constituency, which I have the honor to serve. I also want to thank our campaign team, led by our campaign director, our general secretary, Dayton Campbell, Dr. Dayton Campbell. Also a newly minted member of parliament. Congratulations to him on his victory in East and Westmoreland. And all the other members of the campaign team who worked with him. There are a number of names there. I don't want to attempt to go through all those names because I'm going to probably forget somebody and then I'll regret it. But they have done a tremendous job. The communications team, I want to thank them publicly for the work they have done. And that is a night and day kind of job. It starts very early in the morning and goes on till late at night. So their commitment to the task at hand is remarkable, and I want to thank them deeply for it. All of our candidates who ran in this election and their campaign teams, I want to thank them for their effort, for their commitment to the country, to the democratic process. I want to, of course, congratulate the 29 who have been successful tonight. And we have more than doubled our number of MPs tonight. And for those who were not first, and they still committed themselves extremely well. And I want to say that this was a wonderful demonstration of the maturity of Jamaica's political process, that we could go through such a closely fought election without any violence to speak of. And, we must all give ourselves a round of applause. In our homes, if you're listening, here at JLP headquarters, because that was not always the case. And I want to just thank all of the pioneers who led that process to where it is today, where I think we can safely say that Jamaica is a place that really cherishes and respects the democracy that we have built. I want to thank the people of Jamaica for having received us so well and having given us hundreds of thousands of votes and given us 29 seats. We don't take that for granted. We thank you for your time today. I know the voting was often painfully slow, and that's an issue which more will have to be said about, because it's an undemocratic situation when people, elderly and other people, have to be in the hot sun lining up to vote for sometimes hours. And it should not be that way. We should do better, and we have to do better. I must tell you that I'm proud of the platform that we put forward for the people of Jamaica. It was a truly progressive platform, a platform that offered a radical reform to the land tenure issues that have plagued this country for centuries. A radical platform that would have enhanced the standard of living and quality of life of those working families that are struggling to survive now by giving them significantly lower tax burdens on their income. Progressive in a social justice sense as well, around issues such as beach reform, contract work, and other things which really need to be addressed because there are injustices in our society which cannot be tolerated and should be modified and rejected in their current form. So I just want to thank all of the team that came together and developed those ideas and put them forward boldly and without reticence. And I think that for many Jamaicans, they saw the benefits and the power that that platform and those ideas and proposals would have delivered. So, ladies and gentlemen, for us, it's a difficult night. This is not an easy speech to make. You know, one wasn't hoping for a result which is not success. And it means that the government will get its third term and we will have as a nation to deal with that going forward. But the People's National Party, I'm happy to tell you, is alive and well, as a powerful political organization. And has embraced modernity in its methods and has definitely, I think, over the last few years, come a long way towards being a competitive political force in Jamaica. And as the General Secretary said, the work begins right away to prepare ourselves for the next opportunity to offer ourselves to serve the nation in government. And I believe the people will, in due course, give us that chance. Ladies and gentlemen, comrades and friends, the word is love. Power to the people. God bless you all. Thank you for your support.
We as African people must understand what is taking place around us and in us. A whole heap of people prefer to say them is a West Indian. A whole heap of people afraid to say them is African. Then someone around the corner will get smart now and say, so Muta, oh, you say you're Jamaican and now you say you're African. That is the problem with the mindset of Jamaican people. The mindset of Jamaican people is that because you never go to Africa yet, you're not African. Because you're born in a Jamaica, you're not African. A cow born in a pig pen is not a pig. But you know, your nationality is African. I want to say that like a little school teacher, you know, because the subject come up again because of that single statement. Who is a Jamaican? Jamaican nationality is where we claim. But our racial identity is African. So there's no contradiction. There's no contradiction in saying that you are an African, even though you're never born in Africa. Because Africa is a continent. You identify with the continent, not just a country inside of the continent. Because North America is a continent, and it have 50 states where almost like a country, because each of them have their own governor and they are governed differently in that continent. So nobody go around and say them is what we call now Floridians, or them is North Carolina, and, you know, them were the Philadelphians, them say them is American. Now we are say that we have to get it straight. We have to get it straight. You are African, but you have a Jamaican nationality that is at risk here. And it's at risk. Because it's going to linger and linger and linger. And the reason why a whole heap of people don't want to say them is African is because them hold on for them nationality. But you know, if you're looking at your passport, they ask you what is your nationality? Jamaican. So he's a Jamaican national. Now, the thing with it is that anybody can be a Jamaican national. Anybody. Him just have to just deal with certain things that them prescribe to be a Jamaican national. You have nationality by birth. Yes, and one of them is where we are talking about now. That because you're born in a Jamaica, you're a Jamaican. Just like if you're born in America, you're an American. It's so it go. But that don't negate you from saying you're an African. And that is a part of it that most people have a problem with. Because you tell them, so, I'm not African, I'm a Jamaican. I put J-U-G upon it to Jamaican. It's a terrible thing. It's a terrible thing. So we just want to clear up the reasoning. We want to clear up the reasoning because it's a conversation where it take place from last week to the hour, Wednesday. From it was said until now, it's pure conversation around that one little argument. Who is a Jamaican? Who is a Jamaican? People from foreign becks. Them say, Muta, I chew me, I hear you say, if you're born a Jamaican, you're a Jamaican. I don't know, quite like me say it. I don't mean say it in a virgin and sister. I'm glad to me have the place to say what me I say so no, you know. Because all people talk now is like, what kind of talk I go on in Jamaica? It sounds like a Trump talk. I don't involve in it. I just clear up my side of it now. I get to clear it up. Being a Jamaican don't negate you from being an African. Because when we say African, we're not specifying a part, and you can't find out which part of Africa your ancestors them come from too. Ancestor.com, and you can't find out, you know. But because we're not dealing with the breaking up and the cutting up of Africa by these European people who put borders and borders and borders there, and those borders cause confrontation for years and centuries. We are African, and a man say, you're African, which part of Africa you come from? It don't matter. I say, I'm African and full stop. Don't put me in a Ghana, Nigeria, Egypt, Timbuktu, Mali. I say, I'm African. If somebody asks me which country I'm born, I say, I was born in Jamaica. I'm a Jamaican national. Anywhere I'm going in the world, my passport is a pass. That's why it marks passport. It makes you go through different ports. You pass through the port them. So I want to clarify that intention and a man tell me say him serve. What the hell that is? When you say you serve, what you serve? Rice and peas, what you serve? You know what people serve Jamaica and them are Indian, come from India, or Chinese, come from China. And you have Chinese people who born in Jamaica, who is Jamaican, and them don't have to serve nothing. And him no stop no say him a Chinese. That no come out of him head. Him parents and him ancestors no make that come out of him head. Because him name alone identify him. That's why name is a very important part of the whole reconstruction of our mindset. The name, very important to reconstruct our mindset. Because we have a tendency to hear a certain name, and the name is identified with a certain kind of people. It's only African people that is not that cannot be identified by them name. When you go to school and you hear the person say, is the youth named Chong or Chin, him inside, him go to the school, and you identify, right away you know, pick up a picture of the person in your head, you know. But you hear the name Chin, Chong, you have a picture in your head about who that is. A man could have never tell me, say, why you want to say, my brethren name Chow, Chin Lang, Pastor. So you see him, I meet picture of a black man in my head. Impossible. Impossible for me to think on a Chow, Chin, and think on a black man in my head. So the name is very important in the identification of people, place, and things. People, place, and things is identified by name. Only African people to identify by them name, because all away, most away of the European name that was given to us, forced upon us by whips and beating and death to accept these names. Yeah.
Blessed.
Yeah, blessed man.
Good night, Mutabaruka.
Good night, sir.
Rasul Belay. You know, I just want to make a little clarification on the speech that the Prime Minister had made about banning in Jamaica.
Oh, okay, upon that, yes. That's what I talk about, yeah.
Yeah. So, really and truly, you know, being a Jamaican, as he said, born in Jamaica, you know, really make you a Jamaican, because you see, to be a Jamaican, you have to register to the RGB, you know. It's a part of the Constitution, because just like how the Maroon are indigenous people, we are native people of the land, but we are not Jamaican if you can register to the British registry. So that is the difference between
hold on. If you're born in Jamaica, you don't register where you is.
If you're born in Jamaica, right, the land itself is not Jamaica.
No. What the land is?
The land is actually Jamaica, but the British.
No, we don't call it. Yeah, but we know what the British call it, and we know what them call it long time. I ask you, if you're born in this land here, what you is as it relates to the land where you're born in?
Oh, you're an indigenous. You're an indigenous individual to the land.
So wait there now. So wait there, hold on there. So if you're born in Europe or France, you're an indigenous individual to the land.
Definitely.
So when you have your passport, it mark I am an indigenous individual to the land?
Repeat.
All right. If you're born in England, Germany, France, Belgium, Chinese, Tokyo,
Yeah.
in your passport,
Yeah.
it mark I am an indigenous person to the land?
No, all right.
No,
Yes,
all right,
because-
hold on. So I say no. So when you have your passport, how do you identify which country you connect to?
All right. Let me explain this. Give me a minute.
No, but can you answer me first before you explain?
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do exactly right now.
Okay.
All right. If you're born in Britain and you register to the British, that's a nationality. So therefore, you're gonna have a passport with a Britain passport, right? Correct. So if you're born in Jamaica but you're not registered to the Jamaica Constitution, which is the RGD department,
Yeah.
that will if you're not registered to the RGD, you won't have a nationality identification form. But if you're born in the land on the island, but you're not registered to the RGD, you're not a Jamaican.
So which land you're going to identify with?
You cannot identify yourself as a land.
No. Listen to what I say. I say you're going to identify yourself as a land. I say, which land are you going to identify with?
You're just an indigenous individual to the land of Jamaica, but you're not a Jamaican.
And who is a Jamaican? You have to register to the
RGD.
To be a Jamaican.
Definitely, you have to have a birth certificate.
So if you don't register to them, you're an indigenous person.
Definitely.
Brethren, what indigenous mean?
Indigenous mean we naturally came
Original.
from or belong.
Original.
Yeah, origin,
yeah.
definitely.
Yeah. That sounds like a contradiction to you. What you just say?
If it sounds like a contradiction to me?
To what you just said, yeah. Give me what you just said to me. Wait, give me what you just said. That you have to go, I get papers to say you're a Jamaican. But you're going to call yourself an indigenous person. Right?
Yeah.
You have to call yourself an indigenous person. So the man, the Native American, I forget papers now to identify himself as an American, or him is an indigenous person based upon what land him based upon when I'm saying
indigenous. You have natural birthright
to which country?
To any country of birth, where he has birth, has born, he have natural birthright to that land. So therefore, if it is Australia,
stick up in. You hear what you just say? You have a natural birthright to the land.
Definitely.
So that means if I have natural birthright to the land, if the land is cheap, if the land named Japan, him can't say him is a Japanese.
No, all right. He have the free right to choose when he want to be in that.
No, I'm not choose. I talk about the connection. You say indigenous, you separate indigenous from the nationality, from the connection. And I say no, if a man born in a Japan, him do have no right to call himself a Japanese, because him have to get registered, or him is an indigenous person to the land.
Yeah, him is an indigenous person to the land. So if him have,
but who's an indigenous person? Who's the indigenous person?
I just explained that to you a while ago.
No, you say I explain again. Where you say the indigenous person is?
I said that indigenous person is someone who was born in a specific location or era geographically to any land. It could be Jamaica, Cuba, or wherever.
And that don't make him a Jamaican then?
No. You have to register.
Wait, no. And if he's born in France, that don't make him a Frenchman.
No.
If he's indigenous to France.
No, it does not make him a Frenchman, but he's indigenous to France.
So who is a Frenchman?
One that is registered to the French registry. To the corporation of France.
Brethren,
You have to register to be a Frenchman.
And who is an American?
A man that is registered with the American.
No, look here.
You have to have the
if you're
identification.
born, I never said you have to have identification, but not because you do have the identification, you're not off the land.
I didn't say that. I didn't say that.
You say indigenous. Indigenous is original, you know.
Definitely.
Yeah, so you don't have to be original.
All right, listen. Let me explain this to you. You see, all these countries, these are corporations.
Yes,
therefore, you have to register to belong to these corporations.
Yes.
If you're not registered with these corporations,
yes,
you are not of these corporations.
Yes, all right.
So that's the difference.
So you have to know nobody who is not registered.
Yeah.
Even though them is indigenous to the land.
Yeah.
Them is not a part of the land because them don't register.
I didn't say that. Why you keep on saying things I said, brother? Listen, I'm saying, I'll say it again. If you're born on the island, you're indigenous to the island.
Yes.
But you have to be registered to be called a Jamaican because that is the title of the land right now, which we operate on, right? So that would be a nationality. But just like we have the Maroons and other indigenous people, they're not Jamaican, right? So that is what I'm explaining. They're indigenous
the Maroons don't register as Jamaican.
I don't know if they do that now, but in the past, I know they're separate. There are two different nations. There's like a landlocked nation or a nation within a nation, like a landlocked nation. There are different states. Jamaica is a state, actually. I know you already know that. And this state was created by the British monarchy.
Brethren, the indigenous people of Jamaica.
Yes.
Where you call them? May I ask you the same question? Where you call them? The indigenous, the original people of Jamaica, where you call them?
We are African descendants.
No. The people.
Hello?
Travel from all Asia come over here, you know. Venezuela, them places. You have some people from West Africa come over here, so.
Yeah.
Right? And they mix up.
Yeah.
All right. So we say indigenous is original.
Yes.
All right. So when you say indigenous, you talk about the original people of what? The land.
Definitely.
All right. So at the time when them never have no registration.
Yeah.
But them find themselves on a land. And them call the land Axamaka or whatever them call it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Them is what? Identifying with the land. Identify with the land. They never have no white man for come tell them must no register or nothing.
Yeah.
Them live on the land and them is indigenous to this land. Like the Native American them is indigenous to Native America. Them never have no America them time there.
Yeah.
Right? Them have them own tribal land name. The Navajo, the Cherokees and them thing there.
Yeah.
What is it that make them not be what them say them is?
I mean, I understand the question. You have to rephrase the question.
All right. You said if you say it's a Jamaican, you have to be registered to the British idea of registration.
Definitely.
Suppose you don't register to that and you're an indigenous person of the land. The indigenous people them call this land a certain name. Whether they want to say it name Jamaica, Examaka or whatever.
Yeah.
When them call themselves the name of the land where them indigenous to, and they have nothing to register, them wrong.
No, okay, they can't be wrong because they have the right to
what kind of right?
Self-determination. They have the right to self-determination.
What kind of right them have?
They have the right to self-determination, so therefore whatever they want to
a birthright.
Definitely. And also the right to self-determination. So if they want to call themselves...
All right. So may I say, to me, this land named Jamaica.
Right now.
Yeah, right now before. I know what. And when me say no, me born on ya so.
Yes.
And me say me a Jamaican, I mean I have to register. No way.
That is right.
You
Yeah,
register.
right.
You register.
Yeah. That's what I said.
Yeah, but you can't tell me say me a no Jamaican because me no register. Because that you say.
No one can deprive you of where you choose to be. But naturally, in fact, by law, this is how it really operates. You have to have a nationality to go to get a passport. You have to register to the British monarchy or to the RGD then.
Yes.
To get a Jamaican passport or a Jamaican identity.
You know what a passport is?
Definitely.
What a passport is?
A passport is something you use to present yourself to pass through the ports. To go to
the country them, yes.
Definitely,
yes.
Yeah, the ports.
So if you do have a passport,
you cannot enter another country.
No, I'm not talking about enter no. If you do have a passport and you live in Jamaica,
yeah.
Like all my granny, never have no passport.
Yeah.
Never have no birth certificate.
Yeah.
And when you talk to her, she says she's a Jamaican. She's not really a Jamaican.
All right. She was confused when she said she's a Jamaican.
No, you can't tell me my granny confused herself.
Because actually,
you are coming your mother
my
and they talking
in a turn, but listen now. Well, listen what I actually mean. As I said before.
I understand what you're saying, no?
Yeah.
I understand what you're saying, no? But you give me, you know, a thing when me never order for myself. And I tell you, you know, me a card,
right.
like when I say Mutabaruka.
Yeah.
Which part you think you're going to find Mutabaruka register office?
No, because it's an indigenous name. That's the indigenous name.
No. Wait there. No, indigenous name, man. I'm making myself that name there.
Are you getting the name there?
What do you mean if I'm making myself that name? Of course, I'm making myself that name.
That's why it's indigenous, because it is from you.
Yeah, but you know, me can use a name there and sign a check.
Definitely, of course.
Yeah, Mutabaruka.
Definitely.
Yes.
Because you're a title that you have to ask for and right over that name.
Me use it for formal things, formal, cross-border.
Definitely.
Cross-border.
Definitely.
So we have to tell me now, say, I'm not Mutabaruka.
No, me can't tell that, because he's a free man.
Identify me, yeah. So the man who says he's a Jamaican because he's born here.
Mm-hmm.
You ever tell me now, say, I'm not a Jamaican because I don't register to the British, this and the British that. And him come from here, so him born here, so him family related to you, so.
No, I'm not telling you, everyone have the right to self-determination, no matter. But what me explain to you,
everyone have the right to determination. Why you think him is not what him saying is?
No, me can't determine what he is saying.
That you just tell me say, the only way you can be a Jamaican is if you register with whatsoever you tell them must register with. That is what you're saying, you know. You
definitely, but listen how we go now.
No, nobody repeat the same thing. No,
it's different when I do it by law.
Which law you talk about now? You talk about British law.
Universal law and British law, basically, because you see.
No, but me just show you a universal thing a while ago and you reject it.
Me not reject it.
Yeah, so man can't do anything we want to do.
Actually, overstand and enhance way I say, because I'm basically saying a free man have the right to self-determination.
Of course.
But by British corporation, to be a Jamaican, you have to register to the RGD. But if you're born on the island, you can say you're a Jamaican if you want, because you have the right to do that.
But you're not a Jamaican.
But you're not a Jamaican.
So use what? Use what? You're just an individual.
Yeah, I'm an individual.
Okay. So when you go in a bank and I'm ask you where you come from, where you're born, you can't say you're Jamaican because you don't have no passport and a birth certificate. You know, so a whole heap of people never get registered out of Spanish Town when they're born. A father, most fathers don't depend on them child birth certificate.
That's true.
Okay. Anyway, I'm going to get the next man a call though.
Yeah, man, give thanks to the opportunity to explain
so the man is a maroon.
I'm an indigenous human being to the island, same way.
Oh, so you're not a maroon then?
No, I'm not a maroon.
Okay, but the man give credence to the Maroons.
Actually,
Based up how you talk, based up how you talk,
yeah.
You give credence to the Maroon.
Well,
maybe you don't want to call them Maroon because Maroon is a vague reasoning for some people where they live on that.
All right, it's the Maroon, actually, you know, the Maroon is a set of people where really want to get a little more active in them thing, you know. Them really to get more active in them belief and them self-determination as a state to themselves. Same way, but it doesn't take.
And them can't say them are Jamaican when them are do that.
No, them cannot register to the Jamaican registry and expect to get a different actually think they are sovereign.
So if I are African now, I wrong to say that?
No, they can't wrong to say that because that is a race. We are all African once we are black, you know. That's our race. But a nationality is different from the race.
No, we don't know that already. We don't know. We just asking.
No, but to those who don't know, we have still have to.
Just tell them. If they don't know that for 30 years, I say that now something wrong with me.
All right, definitely.
All right, give thanks, Bridget.
Blessed love, Mikey.
All right. Yes, may I tell you, one something can lead to a whole heap of something. And that something, what was said, I wish I can say it, the amount of conversation around it. The amount of conversation around it. And see, a virgin come with something as you know, to validate what the virgin has said. But you know, you see, where the virgin has said a while ago, it not have nothing to do with where the Prime Minister said. It not have nothing to do because the Prime Minister, the Prime Minister tell you what it mean when them say if you're born a Jamaican, you're not a Jamaican. The Prime Minister tell you, and it have nothing to do with registering or don't register. That is what. As a matter of fact, I don't more agree with the brethren here, so than I agree with Prime Minister because the brethren are sure you say, well, British, you have to register with the British idea of what nationality to say you're a Jamaican. And on that the Prime Minister tell you say you have to do certain things which is not have nothing to do with registration. According to the other brother, you have to contribute. you have to be in line with doing things that is beneficial to Jamaican society. To say a Jamaican. More tell the brethren who just call say, me not fight against what I say, me understand what I say, but in order of, in terms of the clarification, what I was talking about was related to what the Prime Minister said. So I totally understand what you say, and I lick against what you say. I totally understand, but I have to push it and carry it further because I know say, what you are saying, it's not what the Prime Minister did I say. See, so it's just that me I say, because I understand, and I accept what you are saying more than what I accept what the Prime Minister say. Because film definition of a Jamaican is not what you say. You understand? So, I guess you should have got to talk to the Prime Minister too. You understand? But I know it go. Anyway, yes, EL.
Blessed one.
Cutting edge in the night, morning.
Rastafari.
Blessed.
Who is Mutabaruka?
Yeah, man, no Muta you call.
Yeah,
Cutting edge.
Well, they like how you start the program, you know.
Oh, yeah?
As a Rasta one, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, because long as he's a black man, he's an African, you know.
Of course.
So we know it, you know, but you see most black people over Jamaica here, though, them call themselves Jamaican, but when you're Jamaican, you're still in slavery, because in this election, you see, go on here right now, 5 more years in slavery, these black people around here outside, you know.
5 more years of slavery?
Yeah, they have 5 more years in a slavery. Either Mark Bolin or Andrew Holness, you know, have to report to the king of Babylon, you know. And the king of Babylon, show them, tell them what to do. King Charles, the youth, and now the queen, grandson, them I work with now, you know. Because the whole place around here belongs to, before the king come, Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II, and run kings around here, all them crown land and them forest land, and even the university belong to the Queen of England, you know. So all black people around here so still outside all like I and I was free myself from mental slavery. They're not slaves, man. Long as he's a Jamaican, he's a slave, you know. And that's why they say you're independent, but then independent, and then free and dumb. Then get freedom, then don't get freeness of
free man. We say free man. We say free man, not freedom.
Yeah, them are freedom, but I and I are free man, because we not sell ourselves from mental slavery, you know. Motor from them longer time, you know. Even in them the time they, you know, the slave they never like I and I when I and I rise up in them time where we rise as Rasta. They not call me dirty Rasta boy, man.
Them still a say it.
Yeah. So all who you see, where you see go between KMP and JLP, there where you see go the polling station there, you know. 5 more years in slavery than them officer. Because one man at the top right now, King Charles, and King Charles tell Bruce Golding what to do. I know Bruce. Him and them boss.
I know Bruce Golding do.
Yeah, they are Golding. King Charles and them boss. Everything where you see there, a theme punch, a theme place, you know, kind of beat up as slave class, and then time the people are not free until now. I remember say the Boston man and Manley, you know. Them was black people biggest enemy, you know. Cause Manley was the chief persecutor to Marcus Messiah Garvey, you know. And Boston man to work like the CIA against Marcus Garvey, you know. And where them go do that, you know, them say we too damn old, you know, them do that to the Queen to keep the people them in a slavery, black people are free. And the thing when we want Mark Bolin and the Holness is look about now, you know, the Rastafari restoration money, you know.
Reparation, not respiration, reparation.
Yeah, man, you know the right thing. Can't you really don't know English too tough?
I don't know.
Eh?
Most of you don't know it.
Yeah, so Mark Golding and Holness and to look about Rasta restoration money, you know, because remember, say, Busty man, he was a man. You were a big fight 62 years ago. You know.
Yeah. All right, we have to move though. Hold on, we have to move because somebody said, I wait for you know.
Well, Mutabaruka, I had done from Dallas Mountain.
But you talk a good little while. No, wait no man, I'll run in, I just say, the program soon done.
Yeah, we know it, but man, enough one want to say something, you know, Muta.
Yeah.
Rastafari, man.
Yeah, man, give thanks. Yes, all the people them know say tomorrow. Well, I keep saying tomorrow, you know, because I can't realize 12 o'clock gone. we just come in, you know, for those of you who just hear it. whenever they are from 10, you know, through the whole election thing, I know you watch election, I know somehow they done at the political party HQ and listen to where them have to tell me and you join me late. But give thanks say there with me still. You could have done somewhere else. Give thanks say there so. All right. So now, we did want to make you hear this. 30 million. Most of the house them bill, most of the apartment them a bill. The people them you see a jump up and down around them. Can't afford it. Can't afford it. Look at the tallest building them right now in a Kingston. All of them. Most of the people them what you say a jump up and down the place. Can't afford it. I'm going to keep saying it, you know. Look at your life 5 years ago and your life now. Are you living a better life in the society here? Just look, find the surroundings and the people them who live round in your area. Is the place looking better, brighter, nicer, cleaner than 5 years ago? And if you can't say at the same, it looks same way. The garbage looks same way, even though you put it there. The people them are ball same way. Them go about them business haphazard the same way. Them have to struggle and a hustle to send them people to go to school same way. Look on it and tell me the reason why you should have listened to these people and talk them talk. Last advertisement cut. You take the advertisement them, last set. Much things that happen. You have to have some sanity. You know, me I look from the video them, the music video them, when they on TV and YouTube and them something there. Me just ask a question, because me don't understand it. I mean, no, say no old, me I get old to that point though, me can't appreciate certain things, because me I play music where a whole heap of people my age now go play them, you know, and me I go places where a whole heap of people my age now go. And me I say no, can somebody please explain to me, why is it that every time you see a video with a black woman in there, is wine up? Why the music video them and other things too? Black woman, the only thing black woman can do in a movie is wine up and cock out and spread out. No, sir. It really stay away. If there's some black people there, you can't blame white people for your treat you so. Because when you look on them video there now, usually a video supposed to physical make you see what the man has said, the story that has been told, where the man has said, or where the person has sing say. Like you make a team round what is said in the song. I am listening, I am seeing and looking upon these videos. And up to now, I have tried to find a video where the woman them in there is part of the storyline of the song. It's weird, man. So there's young people there, female me I talk about, that the only purpose them serve in a video is to cock out and wine out and spread out and all the out them where them can go in. At this our reach. At this our reach. The man, nearly all of the video them with a man, a black youth in there, them a pose in front of a car. I go to the car and rent it, you know. Rent the car, you know. Cause man, them come rent, at least try rent my car already. So they want a car to go in a video and them a look at Jeep. I mean, I said, no, brethren. You know, you have to go find a Jeep. But it amazes me, man. It's like almost tears that will come on my eye, tears, when me I watch it. 1 video, 2 video, 3 video, 4 video, and every one of them. Not to mention now that them up on the stage are almost like Panty and Brazil. I mean, they don't say that long time, you know. They say, you so say. You so say the woman them start with denim panty, and I talk about a shorts them have on. I know shorts that a panty. That's supposed to have on. That's supposed to wear underneath your dress. Or if your pants, if you want to wear pants, but the real reality of the situation is that I am really shedding tears for black people and our female who's supposed to guard the palace. Woman King. Anybody see that movie there? Viola Davis, the Woman King. With the guard, they're supposed to guard the palace. But you can't guard palace that look behave that way, the rat, sir. No, sir. And it's like me attack, you know, and somebody out there said, I'm more talk about. Old man, that, old man. What can you do that I cannot do? That is the thing now. What can you do that I cannot do? I must don't want to do it, but that don't mean I can't do it. Anything where you want to think, that me talk about. Anything. You know, see it? It's disgusting. It is disgusting to see our African women, the only thing them can do in a video, a music video, is cock out and whine out and spread out and all the out them can do. Who can go the lowest, whining? Who can go the widest, opening out them foot? Wow, man. And that's over there. That youth there bring a different level to the African continent. We are watching, yeah, man. Bring a different level to the African continent, and we need that kind of vibration right now more than ever before. Yes, more than ever before. Because every time we move forward, someone come draw it back. You know, them say 1 step forward, 2 step backward. And that go on. You know, the liberation movement, liberation struggle, but we give it life far. I want to see someone that twist it and a carry it go another way. Well, that's what you're doing for the scheme of things. Because we see it. We see the deliberate attempt to subvert the movement of African people for them liberation and freedom. And that we say. And because we don't have no big people money around we, and we don't have no certain things to make the thing move forward, even firmer and stronger. People are going like, so we are talking vain. Yes. It's a terrible thing. Terrible thing. We find ourselves in a situation right now where the religion them politics, and all of the things that them bring come give it. It's like we have to just go on like say, we know none of them things. We're not even go on like, but we have to just dash with them something there, because it not carry going further than where we there, where them want we go. Yeah, man, and that me say. Yeah, man, 1 step forward, 10 steps backward. And you can't tell certain youth them things there. Because them have to move where you live. You have to step up the game now. It's like you have to step up the game and let them claim and get your team. How that are possible? How that possible? How it possible that we can reach so far yet till them have moved the goalposts? Them have moved the goalposts, by the way. And when I say them move the goalposts, we are living in illusion, confusion whole way. We don't understand it. We don't understand it at all. The one they want something, I don't know what it want, but it wants something. Now come through properly. Anyway, when it is what they have forward, from 2 to 5:45, openly with Shane. Shane can't go nowhere again, you know. Shane can't go nowhere again, because, trust me, we have to have Shane continuously on the other side of this thing. Yeah, man, and that's what I work with. Because right now, I tell you, the way all the programs are go, and the way how we are sitting and characterize things, we have to have someone on the next part of the line who in sync with what we are doing. I mean, them not have to believe like what we are believe, or think like what we are think, but in relationship to the program itself. I come along here, come talk to them, you know, yes. Come along here, a long time I come along there.
Mommy, where is Daddy? Is he coming home?
Market conscious once again, you know? Yes, yeah. Doing this one for the children. Too many broken homes, man. Yeah. Sure.
Let's go.
And it's broken.
All right, we'll try it now.
Every man.
We'll try it and it now work like that. So we have to just come off of that. We'll talk about 5 minutes, 5 minutes to the hour when we leave there. And we say, give thanks, you know. I mean, I just, 2 hours less we get. Like 2 hours less. 2 hours from 12 o'clock. We give thanks still. Because you know, we always have enough things to say, but if it can't work because something more pressing to the people was taking place. For those of you who live underneath the wall and the rubbish wall, Jamaica does have an election, a general election, to choose which party are going to move the country in the next 5 years. And the people then put back the same party where they are for 10 years already. Put them back to run the country. So whether we like it or not, and that will happen. Whether we like it or not. And we give thanks for seeing another party there too, you know, and each up on the side there, you know. We hope so by the next 5 years that we're ready. Because it is very, very, very good that we could have say not only 2 face, but 3 face. Look how small it is. But we know everything start from small. And we give thanks to see that. We have to commend them for that. You know? Because, you know, so them have them things there. Them party system, if you have two political party, like America, and when the next one come, them squeeze them out. Well, you see somebody jump at it now and say, enough is enough. We need a third party. And then they have a fourth party too. And it's a partisan party and the next party with them call some Christian party will come up. And we give thanks to see that, to challenge whatsoever is there already. Yeah, challenge them. We give thanks for that. So we hope say them don't get frustrated. Keep forward, keep going. Keep going. And make sure say you don't get caught in the trap of doing what them do. Because sometimes these parties start out. My lady I talk a while ago and she'll say, yeah, we see the next party, but are they going to be different from the next party? There are two parties. After a while, them become a maca in our foot. Our ticks in our skin. You know, that's the question, you know. Are they going to do what the others do? Or will they be different from what we see? But as we say, them not do me nothing, and them a do something. And since someone decides, say, him want to go on a lane there, him just go on a lane there. And depending on where we see, we do what we're supposed to do. Either support or demote. Yeah. That's what they have to do. Either support or demote. So we just say, Mr. Patterson, whosoever, and your team, we say the effort, and we give, we mark the effort, as a matter of fact. We mark the effort. You know, see it, we mark the effort because it is needed. And we give thanks. So you come with it.
As the counting continues, or rather as the counting of ballots cast in today's general and local government by-elections in 4 divisions get underway, the overall consensus was that the process was slow but smooth, with reports of minor incidents. These incidents include allegations of a woman being hit by a PNP candidate, a claim that has since been refuted. There was also issue with the electronic voting system in some constituencies, as well as heavy rains hampering the voting process in some areas, while candidates of third parties and independents contested the election. The contest is between the country's 2 main political parties, the Jamaica Labor Party and the People's National Party. Supporters of both the JLP and PNP are gathering now at their respective parties' headquarters. The anticipation is building up as the country awaits the results of the winner to be announced by the Electoral Office late tonight. Join RFM at 6 p.m. for the live in-studio discussion program with regular updates on vote results and assessments by analysts. The Electoral Office is reporting that the voter turnout at 3 p.m. in today's general election was 30.41%. Meantime, the turnout for the local government by-elections is 27.35%. Even though the polls closed at 5 o'clock, persons still in the line were allowed to cast their ballots. The Electoral Office of Jamaica, EOJ, says its electronic voter identification and ballot issue system, IVIS, was restored after the system was impacted earlier. While the EOJ did not say what led to the disruption of the system, Director of Elections Gospel Brown noted that the system was back up before polling stations closed at 5 p.m. He further sought to explain that the IVIS is only used in some constituencies. His comment follows the issuing of a press release by the People's National Party, PNP, which said it takes note of the discontinuation of the EVIS in 4 constituencies. The PNP said Kingston Central, Eastern St. Andrew, Western Central St. Andrew, and Southeastern St. Andrew were impacted. The party expressed deep concern over what it said was the lack of a timely public communication and comprehensive justification for such a significant change to the voting process, especially in constituencies that have long used EVIS. The PNP went on to strongly assure that all voters in the affected areas that this will not affect their ability to vote, highlighting that the manual voting process remained fully operational, secure, and effective. The island's 2 main political parties have expressed concern about the long lines and the time it took to vote at a number of the polling stations today. Electors turned up at polling stations across the island between 7 a.m. and 5 p.m. to choose the country's leaders for the next 5 years. Speaking to IFM News this afternoon, General Secretary of the People's National Party, or rather, of the Jamaica Labor Party, Dr. Horace Chang, said, while today was a good day, he believed the voting process could have been better. He said due to the long lines and slow voting, a number of voters were frustrated.
They went pretty well for the party. The OG did a pretty good job of it, but they have a few minor logistical challenges that have to be handled, namely how we handle, one, getting current ID cards to voters. Because a significant number of people came without the current ID cards, and then they were on the list and they had the IDs right like the return officer office. So that has been looked at, and when they come, how we process them, because it takes a little time now, especially with an inexperienced presiding officer, and that can be a challenge because it means those who have come earlier will have to wait. When you're waiting 2 or 3 hours with limited time, it can be a bit frustrating. So there was some frustration among voters and several polling stations across the island, but it was not something that was designed to disrupt or to undermine the system. I think there's a logistical effort that has become more evident, especially now after a number of years. There are more people who are without the ID cards. But that was the primary issue. But otherwise, it didn't play anything politically. We have just come to a pretty 2-week formal campaign and maybe about 4 months of pretty active political campaigning and without any serious incidents. So it again reflects growing maturity in the political atmosphere. They'll be concerned about the voter turnout. We might just make about 50. Thought it could have been better given the enthusiasm out there. But the reason we may not get there will be evident later on as we count to see.
JLP Gensec Dr. Horace Chang, however, he said despite this concern, he believes the party got the job done. In the meantime, the People's National Party's Donna Scott Motley also noted that the slow voting process was the main area of concern today. She also believes that the PNP will be crowned winners when the ballots are counted tonight.
Well, we do feel that we had a very successful day. We had some disappointments because the polling was so slow, and it concerned a lot of our voters, but they remained resolute and cast their vote. So we are awaiting now the results. We think we got the job done and that we will be successful. We are setting up now at party headquarters to have our celebration later on when the results are made official by the EOJ and when our party leader will be addressing the country as the new Prime Minister.
PNP senior member Donna Scott Motley. Meantime, the Citizens Action for Free and Fair Elections Cafe said some 7% of polling stations reported disruptions to the voting process, but these were deemed minor. Speaking with RFM News, the cafe chairman Grace Baston said 32 roving observers and over 400 indoor observers were deployed today. She said some observers were denied entry to the polling stations, but CAFE worked with the EOJ to rectify the issue.
Citizens Action for Free and Fair Election has deployed 32 roving observers and 470 indoor observers for today's general election. And reports received from these observers between 9 and 11 indicate that 94% of polling stations opened on time at 7, and 97% of them had all the necessary materials in place. Only about 7% of the polling stations reported any disruption to the voting process, and our investigations have revealed that these were minor in nature, while only 2% of observers reported any disorderly conduct. Based on our report, in 96% of the polling stations, all the voters who were properly identified were allowed to vote. CAFE will be investigating the reasons which may have accounted for any denial. Some CAFE observers encountered difficulty in gaining access to the polling stations. However, CAFE was able to collaborate with the Electoral Office of Jamaica to have these situations resolved. And CAFE will continue to monitor the process for the rest of the day and will provide updates as required.
CAFE Chairman Grace Baston. Returning Officer for Western Westmoreland, Errol Stewart, has indicated that electors turning up without their identification cards contributed to the delays in today's voting process.
So far, there's a very good process in place. The turnout seems to be better than what we are using in last few years. Naturally, we have persons waiting a good while in the lines, but significantly the reason for this, persons without IDs. To give you an example, we have locations that we have to send additionally out 11. That should capture fingerprint and particular data as it relates to not having an ID. Process that must be followed. Hence, it would have slowed us down, despite the fact that we have additional resources on the ground to assist with that particular process.
He said otherwise today was incident-free.
So far, nothing of concern. I have been in touch with both camps. They would call me, and if something comes up, the clarification would come very quickly. So far, and I'd use the opportunity to thank both candidates at this time and their camps for the kind of peaceful setting that we have up to this point and the security forces in Westmoreland. I really, really thank them.
He noted that voter turnout was moderate.
We anticipated a better turnout than former years, and hence one of the sections what we have done is to add personnel so that we are able to manage it much better. And despite that, we still have persons who are waiting a little bit longer than normal, but it's a direct result of persons not collecting their IDs.
Returning Officer for Western Westmoreland, Errol Stewart. And things were eventful in Northern Trelawney. Despite some issues with identification cards, voting progressed well. More in this report from Jalicia Green.
It was an eventful day in Northern Trelawney, especially during the early morning hours across all locations visited. Polling stations opened on time with strong early turnout at Bounty Hall Primary and the Falmouth Courthouse, though activity slowed by midday. Wakefield Primary saw steady voting with minor delays at stations 97 and 98. Elderly voters were especially present in Wakefield and Bounty Hall. At Hastings Primary in D-Side, slow processing caused long waits. Police maintained order and assisted elderly voters throughout the process. One voter who traveled from Montego Bay faced multiple redirections due to an ID mismatch. Bounty Hall remained calm with one voter not found on the list. Police presence was consistent, though reduced at the courthouse by midday, where one elderly voter fainted while being assisted. He was assisted to the Falmouth Hospital. However, his condition remains unknown. In Falmouth, there were reports of ID issues and a few residents ignored police instructions. Additionally, AOJ's website outages disrupted voter verification. At the Falmouth All-Age School, operations were smooth with high early turnout and increased evening activity. Polling stations across all locations were praised for assisting elderly, disabled, and challenged voters. Supporters of both the PNP and the JLP shared their thoughts on the day and expressed confidence that their party will secure victory.
It was wonderful and never wait that long. And the people them turn out a lot and fast, not like before. It was wonderful for this term.
What was the name of the church?
Seventh-day Adventist.
Okay, so the overall experience was smooth?
Yes, it was running smooth, no problem, nothing at all.
Who do you think is going to win based on your observations today? Which party?
Toba.
Why do you say that?
Yes, okay. For a massive, we never see this massive crowd before. It is first we see this massive crowd. And she do a lot, and she do very well for the 1 year that she in it. So we know that she's going to win, and we know that Andrew going to get it again.
It was very good. Get a lot of turnout. Yes.
In the early morning?
In the early morning, in the evening.
So, and who do you think is going to win?
PNP all the way.
All right, why do you say that?
Yes. PNP belongs to Falmouth.
This is Jaleesa Green reporting from Northern Trelawney for IRE FM.
Voters at Bethlehem Primary and the Infant School polling station in Southeast St. Elizabeth said they experienced a slow and strenuous process. It was noted that delays in the process led to frustration among some persons. In hopes for shorter lines and quicker processing, some individuals left the polling station with hopes of returning closer to the cutoff time at 5 p.m. Despite the sluggish pace, security personnel remained present and the environment calm and orderly. Campaign member for the JLP's candidate, Franklin Witter, expressed that he believes the voter turnout was high.
How's voter turnout at this polling station?
It's good. It's maybe about 90%. The Labour rights, many of them turn out, which is a very good sign.
Jamaica Labor Party candidate for Manchester Southern, Ian Ives, says he remains confident as the polls close and the counting get underway in today's general election. According to Ives, he is not only expecting to win, but to win by a significant margin. He says his confidence is based on strong support on the ground and positive feedback from constituents throughout the campaign.
I'm not nervous about it. We did the work and would have reunited the Jamaica Labor Party supporters, and we are expecting to win and win by a big margin too. Every number in the box is very important, and the bigger the margin, the better it is for us. So we want to ensure that we get every single person out there to vote, because we have the numbers out there to vote. We need to get them in the box. That's the way it is. That's what I want.
JLP candidate for Manchester Southern, Ian Ives. Mr. Ives is being challenged by the PNP's Peter Bunting. Voting progressed smoothly in the corporate area today despite traffic issues and heavy rainfall. Roger Hassfall roved the area and filed this report.
What started out as a quiet day on the streets of the corporate area became a scene of bumper-to-bumper traffic along the major thoroughfares in the afternoon. Traffic along the Spanish Town Road came to a snail pace, along with major roads including Hagley Park Road and Waltham Park Road, along with Reddels Road, among others, as it appeared most persons probably in the workforce took the opportunity to utilize their 3 hours given to them by law to exercise their right to vote. Among the traffic were convoys of vehicles carrying supporters of both major political parties, waving flags, blowing horns, ringing bells and playing loud music as they both expressed confidence that their party will form the next government. There was a heavy downpour in the afternoon after 2:30 that saw many roads inundated as well with water in St. Andrew. Over in the St. Andrew West Central constituency, which is being contested by candidates Dr. Andrew Holness of the JLP and Paul Buchanan of the PNP. It was a battleground of fierce festivities, especially along Olympic Way in the vicinity of the Seaward Primary School, where green-clad supporters literally blocked the road, forcing many persons to seek alternate routes. Along those alternate routes, You could also see large gatherings of orange-clad supporters in the division of Beatrice Crescent, where videos circulated showing that the candidate, Dr. Holness, was prevented from entering the polling division before police intervened. There were a few modest and quiet polling divisions, including Kiddies Care Basic School on Espeth Avenue and St. Patrick's Foundation. In St. Andrew Southwest, which is being contested by Dr. Angela Brown-Burke of the PNP, Maureen Lorne of the JLP, and Antonio Wint of the JFPP, there was a massive turnout of orange-clad supporters at Haile Selassie High School in Painland, where activities seemed orderly. So too Whitfield Town Primary, where there was a carnival-like atmosphere. Dr. Brown-Burke, who is also the chairman of the People's National Party, spoke about what she's picking up on the ground and nationally.
I've been in touch with a lot of persons, and it is the same vibe, you know. We have a conversation going about what this reminds us of. I'm old enough to say it reminds me of 2011. Person says it reminds me of 1989. Person says it reminds me of 1972. So, you know, it depends on how old you are. But we haven't seen this in a long time. And it's good for the health of our democracy. It is good for the future of our country.
Dr. Angela Brown-Burke over in St. Andrew East Central. We made stops at a Rousseau Primary, the Norman Manley High School, Richmond Park, Church along Maxfield Avenue, Cassia Park, and Lindros Road, where activities were seamless and quiet. The constituency is being contested by Dennis Gordon of the PNP, David Vassell of the JLP, and Princess Ford of the JPP. Dozens of supporters of the PNP were out in their numbers, dancing and celebrating on a lot of corners in Jonestown, Trench Town, Arnett Gardens, this in the St. Andrew South constituency. Stops were made at the Thornton Early Childhood Centre on Slipe Road, St. Simon's Basic School, Jonestown Primary, Charles Smith High, Lyndhurst Basic School, where activities were all orderly despite much excitement. Over in South St. Andrew, which is being contested by candidates Favour Williams of the JLP, Patricia Sutherland of the PNP, and Carl Cargill of the JPP. The lower part of Mountain View Avenue saw lots of supporters out in their numbers. There were mostly green colours on one side of the corridor, with a large turnout of persons at the Mountain View Primary School. Mountain View Avenue share border with the St. Andrew Southeast, which is being contested by candidates Julian Robinson of the PNP, Andrew Frith of the JLP, and Kamoy Lynch of the UIC. The constituency that has the Trafalgar and Vineyard Town divisions saw activities happening in a seamless manner in places like Nannyville Community Centre and Swallowfield, as well as Thornton Bridge. In East Kingston and Port Royal, where the seat is being contested by candidates Philip Paulwell of the PNP, Courtney Burnett of the JLP, and George Williams of the JPP, the entire Winard Road corridor from South Camp Road up to Rockport was dominated by orange colours. Activities at the Ellison Methodist Church and School, Rollington Town Primary, and Winard Road Primary were all smooth, with Winard Road Primary appearing to be the busiest of all the polling divisions in the constituency. Over in what is deemed to be the battleground seat of Central Kingston, where candidates Donovan Williams of the JLP, Steve McGregor of the JLP, and Garth Barnett of the UIC, the narrow streets of Almond Town were decorated with large amount of orange colours in one section and green colours in another. A large amount of security personnel were present at the Almond Town Primary, with a tense but party-like atmosphere on the outside, where tense housing supporters of both major political parties had a fun-filled time. And in West Kingston, where the seat is being contested by Desmond McKenzie of the JLP, Joseph Bonawitter of the PNP, and Ricardo Williams of the JPP, persons were out from as early as 6 o'clock, forming lines at the Tilbury Gardens High School, the Edward Siaga Primary School, the Chinloy Basic School in Tilbury Gardens, as well as the Kingston High School. Many persons could be seen clad in green tops all over the constituency, with few sprinkling of orange in small pockets of the constituency, which always shows strong support to the PNP. Reporting from the streets of the corporate area, I am Roger Haspel for IRI FM.
In eastern St. Andrew and East Rural St. Andrew, inclement weather did little to deter determined voters. Despite persistent rainfall and reported delays of up to 4 hours, supporters of the major political parties showed up in strong numbers, many choosing to wait patiently through the discomfort. More in this report from IRI FM's Dwight Fraser.
The colours and the power of the sun in the morning session in the Eastern St Andrew belted constituency of Favour Williams was up against the PNP's Patricia Duncan Sutherland gave way to the heavy afternoon showers just after 1 p.m. But despite the heavy rain, the voters on either side of the political divide turn out in droves, both in Eastern St Andrew and East Rural St Andrew, where Gillette Holness is being challenged by Patrick Peterkin of the PNP, Purcell Jackson of the JPP, and Kimisha Hendricks of the UIC. However, while the voting process was smooth in Mona, there were trouble on Gordon Town Road at Grove Primary School, as well as the Kintyre Community Centre. Supporters on either side complained bitterly. They were standing, they say, for more than 4 hours in line to vote. When RFM News checked with the supervisor, we were told that people were unruly and not following the guidelines in wanting to push past the security officers. Dwight Fraser reporting for RFM News.
And today's voting process at polling stations across St. Catherine was peaceful and orderly. Supporters of the Jamaica Labor Party and the People's National Party turned out to cast their ballots for their respective candidates. Some electors noted that this year's voting process was better than during the previous election. Among those who voted were elderly and disabled, who commended the election workers for making the process smooth for them. A disabled elderly noted their friendliness and helpfulness despite the long wait.
Them carry me. I can walk, but still not so good. So then carry in.
Oh, this card here, me a vote. We are nearly 80 now, you know. Not too bad. Better than the last time. The last time we line up out here so long. But now I'm kind of alright. I would be, so we are waiting for to carry back. She can't walk more.
A disabled voter in St. Catherine. It was a largely calm and orderly day at the polls in St. Thomas as voters turned out to cast their ballots in today's general election. For the most part, the voting process ran smoothly with minimal delays or issues reported across key polling stations. RFM's Giovanni White was on the ground and says the majority of the voters from both major political parties showed up between 12 noon and 1 p.m., creating a noticeable midday surge. More from Giovanni White.
It has been a very interesting day for the election 2025. I was able to spend majority of my time in the St. Thomas region where I visited many polling stations. And for the majority of the persons I spoke with today, they felt that the process was very easy and smooth to be able to cast their ballot, of course. Many supporters on both sides of the fence turned out. It was a low turnout in the early parts, but as the hours went by, somewhat between 12 and 1 today, you could see the majority of the supporters from both PNP and the JLP turning out at the respective polling stations. The JCF made sure there was a smooth process and transition between vehicles from the polling stations and on back to the main roads.
That report from Giovanni White. Despite heavy rain, Northeast St. Anne supporters of both political parties were in a celebratory mood ahead of the final election results. IRFM's Marshall White reports.
Heavy rains marked the close of polls in today's general elections in the Ocherius and St. Anne's Bay divisions of Northeast St. Anne. Energized supporters of the Jamaica Labor Party were in a festive mood as they camped beyond the gates of the Ocherius Primary School. On the other side, just before the gates of the Ocherius Primary School, the People's National Party's campaign song blared loudly from a truck fully wrapped in the image of PNP candidate Dr. Ryan Simpson as excited party supporters rocked, danced, and sang. When I arrived at the Ocherius High School just before 4:30 this afternoon, there were no voters at the venue save for one senior citizen who arrived after me to cast his ballot. It was the same at the St. Anne's Bay Primary School, where workers and supporters of the People's National Party urged a man who appears to be in his 50s to rush at less than 6 minutes before the 5 p.m. close of the national polls. Reporting for IRFM News, I am Marshall White.
Over in Northeast Manchester, IRFM's Leon Nash gave a roundup of the latest happenings.
In a few minutes from now, the work put in by the candidates in Northeast Manchester and Northwest Clarendon will tell the story. With the polls now closed, third-party candidate for the Jamaica Progressive Party in Northeast Manchester, Clive Warren, says he's banking on the work that he would have put in to work for him when the votes have been counted tonight. According to Mr. Warren, he is about representation and bringing to Northeast Manchester a level of change which has never been seen before. Meanwhile, Valentin Wint, the People's National Party candidate, told IRFM News that the will of the people is his will as he awaits the count later tonight.
A good voter turnout, particularly in the strong PNP areas. In Kobla, we noticed there, for some reason, I don't know if it is by design, but the voting has been very, very fast. People are coming in, but for some reason, the people are going very, very slow into the polling stations, almost as if by design. Nevertheless, I stopped there and encouraged them to speed it up.
And you voted this morning?
And I voted already this morning. So we're looking forward to, to the people making a good decision this evening.
Okay. And you're expecting to make it through?
Well, my will is the will of the people, and their will is my will.
IRFM News was not able to catch up with the JLP's candidate, Ambassador Audrey Marks, as she was reportedly managing her working team throughout the constituency before the poll closed. However, supporters we spoke to were beaming with confidence.
So far, we're happy to how things is going. Yes, we can see third term loading for the labor rights. And we are out here in our numbers to support Lady Marks. We're putting in our best work. We have our best runners, our best drivers, our best supervisors, indoor and outdoor. We're up on top.
People them come out better than the last time, so everything is going good so far. You're not perturbed by the other side? No.
We're not perturbed.
As I can see, you can look around and see for yourself.
No way. The young people, they turn out in their numbers, and we're glad for that.
And your name, sir? Sanjay Chambers.
Yes, and I'm Margaret Allen, a.k.a. Lady Allen.
Meanwhile, as our news team traversed the hills and valleys in northwest Clarendon, we caught up with the JLP's candidate, Warren Newby, who is contesting the seat against Richard Hassan of the PNP.
Very upbeat set of JLP workers who are aggressively pursuing their targets. We're confident.
The turnout in both constituencies was lower than expected, mainly due to what some voters say was voter apathy. But what was interesting is that in the last hour before the close of polls, there was a mighty dash from the parties to get the last voters to the polling divisions. Whether that has worked will be known later this evening. Leon Nash reporting for IRFM 2025 election coverage.
And IRFM's Nicholas Evans was in St. James and reports that voter turnout was low.
It's often said whichever party wins the West wins the national election. And it was obvious today that both the JLP and the PNP take this position seriously. Low voter turnout or not, it was a friendly but very competitive atmosphere on the grounds of all 5 constituencies toured today in St. James. There are some seats designated as safe seats, but the candidates and supporters were not taking this for granted. One of the hotbed seats is St. James South, where the PNP's Nikisha Burchell battled the incumbent Omar Davis of the JLP. We caught up with supporters of both parties in Cambridge. The JLP supporters say they have no intention to surrender the seat they won in 2020 after 32 years under the PNP.
Yes, the vibe is good. We love it. And we not stop until everything is over. We are keep the vibes going because look here, 32 years. We now go the back. We now go back. We now go back. We're going forward. So forward ever, backward never. Surely about the second term, third term and Holness. Loading. Surely about.
Meanwhile, as far as the PNP supporters are concerned, winning will be a mere formality.
It's already declared. We would call it no. We can call it no. We are confident in our candidates at 2 p.m. If we finish vote 5 o'clock, at that time, you know, the PNP river come down bang to bang.
Straight out of England. You left England to come and vote. Time come. Straight out of London. That way I say. Time come. Ready. 100% ready.
One of the considered safe seats is East Central St. James, where the incumbent Edmund Bartlett of the JLP faced the challenge of first-timer Rochelle Reed-Nutt of the PNP. Reed-Nutt, who is from the community of Somerton in the constituency, is hoping that her relationships in the constituency, which extends beyond politics, will close the deal for her, even as supporters of both parties mourns with her as she deals with the passing of her father, who died 3 days ago. She says she is being strong as she holds on to her father's teaching.
It is not a good feeling at all, considering that my father was among the 10 persons who nominated me for my candidacy. It has been rough, but he has taught me to be strong. And at this time, the people of East Central St. James are depending on me as a leader to handle my grief as a leader should. So at this point in time, I'm grieving, but I have to lead. That is what life is about. That is what leadership is about, handling our challenges and balancing what we need to do, ensuring that the people are taken care of because they're depending on us as leaders to lead.
Polling is now over and the counting have begun, and it's only a matter of time now before we know how the West was won. Reporting for IRFM News, I am Nicholas Evans.
And over in Portland, IRFM Summary Campbell rode various polling stations and filed this report.
Voter turnout in eastern Portland, where the incumbent Anne-Marie Vaz is being challenged by the PNP's Isaac Buchanan and JPP's Trudy and Gillespie Harris, was marred by low voter turnout in the afternoon for polling stations visited, such as Drapers Hall Age, Port Antonio High, Fair Prospect High, and Fair Prospect Primary. When the polling stations were visited between midday and 4 p.m., there were no lines at all except at Port Antonio High, which had approximately 5 voters. Supporters of both the PNP and JLP were observed at the polling stations under their respective tents, assisting community members. In Western Portland, where the incumbent Darrell Vaz is being challenged by the PNP's Doreen Forbes Campbell, the voter turnout was low but much better than East Portland. Overall, across both constituencies, voters have expressed the election this year saw the lowest turnout but has been one of the best planned and executed, advising that the process was much smoother due to more workers as well. Reporting from Western Portland, I am Samari Campbell.
As the polls came to a close across the country, Jamaicans remain sharply divided on their reasons for voting or not voting at all. IRFM's Marquita Rumbo took to the streets to hear directly from the people on their reasons for voting and what influenced their choice. For some, casting their ballot was about exercising their constitutional right. Others said their decision was driven by confidence in party leadership and belief in the plans proposed for the country's future. One People's National Party PNP supporter said he voted for the PNP because he believes the party is best equipped to build and develop the country.
We have a right to vote and we have a right to go through with our country. I choose this party because it's a better party for the country. Education, health, everything to build Jamaica. Choose the people, then you choose the country. Because the people who build the country.
Meanwhile, a Jamaica Labor Party supporter stated that she believes the JLP is the better choice for the future of Jamaica.
I came out today to vote because of the betterment for the country, and where it is, from my point of view, I know that Andrew Holness is the betterment of the country. So we're working with Andrew Holness, we're working with the Jamaica Labor Party, we're working with Mr. Samuda because we choose Jamaica.
Still, voter apathy lingered in some quarters. One man said he refused to vote, claiming his community has been neglected by its representatives who have failed to deliver on their promises.
It's because of the community system that I don't have no resources that they promise us as a government to do, and they are not doing. That's Dunsville in St. Yeah. No road, no water.
Electors who cast their ballots today. And the police say minor incidents were reported at polling stations in some constituencies today. Head of the Constabulary's Communications Network, SSP Stephen Lindsay, gave IRFM News the update.
Right. So at this stage, I can say that things are going good so far. We have a lot of police officers that they were deployed from as early as 3 today, and they have been manning the various polling locations as well as providing aerial support. We have not had any major incidents. We have had one or two minor incidents, conflicts for the most part, but because of the presence of the police, those were resolved very quickly. So there are no major incidents that's linked to it. So we continue to have the members monitoring what's happening. The voters have been coming out, and they were allowed to do what they have to do without any disturbance or interference. So that is good. So we just will continue to monitor. We know that we still have some more time to go. So we just will continue to maintain the vigilance and the presence for the rest of the afternoon.
When asked about an alleged incident of assault involving a candidate and an indoor agent in Southeast St. Elizabeth, SSP Lindsay said investigations continue.
Right. There are some incidents that we are still trying to check on and try to get some verification. So we will, I'll check on those. But in the main, no major incidents today.
Head of the Constabulary's Communications Network, Senior Superintendent Stephanie Lindsay. The People's National Party, PNP candidate for Southeast St. Elizabeth, Norman Scott, is denying allegations that he assaulted a Jamaica Labor Party JLP worker at the BB Coke polling station. In a release, Mr. Scott described the allegations as malicious and fabricated. Mr. Scott explained that while at the polling station, a group of JLP supporters converged on him, creating a tense situation. He said the only physical contact that may have occurred was when he attempted to enter the polling station but was being physically blocked from doing so. He expressed regret over reports that a woman was allegedly injured during the incident and encouraged her to seek medical attention if needed. According to Mr. Scott, the attempt to drag his name into controversy is a sign of panic, not strength, and amounts to character assassination. The Financial Investigations Division, FID, says it is aware of false reports on social media that it has ruled to charge Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness with breaches of the Proceeds of Crime Act and other corruption-related offences. The FID categorically states that this claim is false, baseless, and malicious. It said it has issued no such ruling, announcement, or statement. As a law enforcement agency within the Ministry of Finance, the FID operates strictly within the laws of Jamaica. It said all investigations are conducted in keeping with established protocols, and any public communication regarding charges or proceedings is made formally and through legitimate channels. And with that story, we have come to the end of the local news.
The time on IRIE FM is...
It's now 6:27. You're listening to Live at 5:45. It's now time for the weather.
A trough is across Jamaica. It is expected to remain across the island over the next few days. Tonight will become fair. Tomorrow morning, look for partly cloudy conditions across eastern parishes. It will be mainly sunny elsewhere. Tomorrow afternoon and evening, expect mostly cloudy conditions with showers and thunderstorms across sections of most parishes.
It's now time for Hurricane Tips, brought to you by Grace Kennedy. Make a good move today.
Here are some more tips for farmers if a hurricane warning is issued. Clear clogged drains and cut diversion trenches to lead water safely away from farm. Protect roadways and footpaths by constructing cross drains to take water safely off the roads and into paved or grassed waterways. Construct dams using tires, logs, or stones across gullies to prevent or minimize gully erosion. Trim coffee trees in windswept areas partially to 34 inches or totally to 12 to 15 inches from